Therefore among us vegan traders, Natty-chan is known as the kind of Dyoan that will step on your balls. This is not financial advice. Please, don't sue me, bro. Hello, my fellow bag hodlers. This video will be about the best waifu of 2023, Natty-chan. A lot of you may be gasping out of surprise right now, yet I assure you, that chances are pretty good for Natty-chan to line the pockets of those who put their faith in her. I trust Natty-chan so much so, that I even dedicated most of my portfolio to her. So, settle down and enjoy the video. Natty-chan or natural gas is a gaseous mixture of carbohydrates, mainly made of methane. It is often extracted alongside other fossil fuels or can be pumped out of shale formations. Gas is usually transported through pipelines, or liquefied and carried using ships. Normally, underground reservoirs are used, but gas can also be stored in a liquefied state inside specifically designed facilities. Uncle Sam is a #1 natural gas producer, while most other prominent producers hail from Eurasia. What Natty-chan is most famous for is providing warmth during the cold winter days. However, she is capable of so much more. She is a nourishing mother. Natural gas is one of the main components of many chemical fertilizers. She is a patron of civilization. A significant amount of electricity is generated using natural gas. To top it all off, Natty-chan is the least dirty fossil fuel waifu. Best girl, almost as good as Rem. Certainly, if Natty-chan was a real girl, she would be just like Remington, sweet and caring to most, but to a certain few, a true demon. You see, natural gas price tends to change like BPD chicks' moods, hard and fast. That is mainly due to that, demand for gas tends to fluctuate a lot, which is further complicated by the fact that the storage is kinda difficult. Therefore among us vegan traders, Natty-chan is known as the kind of Dyoan that will step on your balls.
Pervert.
In recent years, due to the effects of the shale revolution, the prices of natural gas have been contracting quite strongly. The main drivers of the shale revolution were efficiency improvements, namely, better tech, better expertise and horizontal drilling. This allowed the US to drastically increase production and thus drop the price. The most significant event of this decade for natural gas was the evil puddlers' war. Just look at this jump. If this was crypto, and I was a Wall Street bets vegan, I would be YOLOing all my tendies into this. One of the main consequences of the war was a severe reduction in Russian gas inflows into Europe. Naturally, the Americans with their vast LNG export capacity filled the void. And the rest is history. However, the price of natural gas began ascending long before February 24, 2022. The reason? Increasing export volumes. Pre-2015 they were pretty significant, yet did not rise that much over the years. The explosion, no pun intended, happened in 2021. Look at this. Damn! Natty-chan passed $6, without war in Ukraine, with Europeans still suckling on the Russian teeth. The future looks just as good. The demand for LNG is growing and this will probably continue into the future. According to Morgan Stanley, global LNG demand could rise by 25 to 50% by 2030. If the supply managed to catch up, the effect of higher demand could be cancelled out, however, such a thing is pretty unlikely. For years, in their pursuit of green policies, the West has been neglecting or even outright attacking most of their energy sector, examples being President Magoo's closure of the Keystone Pipeline and Germany's denuclearization, right in the middle of an energy crisis. Thus, that sustainability agenda will not be abandoned anytime soon. So, how do these green policies affect American natural gas? Overly strict regulations and hostile government attitude in general towards a business significantly hamper operations, and make them far more risky. Therefore, there are fewer incentives for the industry to expand. After all, why build a super expensive piece of infrastructure when Uncle Sam has you under his thumb? And, indeed, since the height of the shale revolution, the rig counts have drastically fallen off, despite that US gas production kept increasing, mostly because of better techniques, technological improvements and horizontal drilling. So, does that mean that improving extraction efficiency fully compensates for the drop in the number of wells? That was certainly the case before, but no longer. In his paper, The Shale Gas Revolution, Barriers, Sustainability and Emerging Opportunities, Richard S. Middleton writes, extraction of shale gas via hydraulic fracturing benefited from disruptive technologies innovation, a combination of high-pressure fracturing, horizontal drilling, multiple fracturing stages, and improved low-viscosity working fluids, that led to a remarkable improvement in extraction efficiencies. This innovation occurred in the middle of an extended learning-by-doing process in the Barnett that can be divided into three key time periods: early exploration 1981 to 1998, technical success 1999 to 2004, and high-volume production 2005 to present. Learning by doing increased well performance across the three key time periods, though with diminishing returns from 2011 onwards. Arguably, Barnett would require another wave of disruptive technology innovations, such as fluid-free fracturing or non-aqueous fracturing fluids, in order to transform shale gas extraction efficiencies. Such a revolution would also impact national hydraulic fracturing practices where the majority of fields are either flat or in decline. From this, we can gather that all the low-hanging fruits have been picked clean. Thus, right now, the only way to increase production is through more active wells. Considering the West's view on fossil fuels, it becomes pretty clear that production isn't picking up anytime soon. How could the price have fallen so low when the outlook was so bullish? Adjusted for inflation, it is at 30-year lows. Preposterous. Not only is elevated European demand still at play, China is importing a ton of LNG, and in general the global demand for natural gas is steadily growing. So, what the hell happened? Once the initial panic subsided and European storages were replenished, the US export volumes did fall. But they only returned to the equilibrium. Exports are still going strong, production isn't picking up and summer seems to be pretty hot. Yet the spot price is. This should be outright impossible. Not without interference from our beloved Uncle Sam. Wait a minute, isn't the US supposed to be a free market economy, under which such shenanigans should never happen? Oh no, my sweet summer child, not at all. There are plenty of examples of how the United States government messed with their economy. The times of the Great Depression are rife with Uncle Sam's excesses. Gold confiscation of 1933 and 1933 National Industrial Recovery Act, which determined how much factories can expand, what wages could be paid and even the prices of products. Then there are many actions the government took in the service of the war effort during world wars. Sure, war was raging hard back then, however, it is not like everything is fine and dandy right now. Oh, and let's not forget those never-ending bank bailouts. But most importantly, there is such a thing, known as the Federal Reserve.
We are an independent institution whose only purpose is to uphold dual mandate.
Yeah, LOL. Karl Marx was in love with the idea of central banks, and oh boy, was he right to do so. The amount of financial interference the Fed has engaged in is just utterly mind-blowing. And thus you can see that the US supposedly being a free market means crap, especially when Uncle Sam is in a pinch. Surprise, surprise. The US right now is neck deep in some nasty crap. Not only inflation is ravaging the whole Western world, the economic war against Russia is still in full swing. Therefore, depressing commodity prices accomplish two goals simultaneously. First, it reduces inflation, and second, it cuts into the evil puddler's bottom line. This is why President Magoo has been dumping SPR, and why the media beating the recession drum for more than a year, while at the same time exalting the AI stocks. And this is why there is so much strangeness in the commodity markets right now, like for example, 26 million ounces of silver getting dumped into the market within 15 minutes, or oil production cuts being consistently downplayed. Hell, very recently there has been a record-breaking 15.4 million barrel crude draw, and guess what happened? Oil went down. The same strangeness is just as present in the natural gas market. Right at this moment, Henry Hub's natural gas contract is at pre-2021 levels, despite all the bullish factors, which I already mentioned.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
Do you see just how full of bullcrap the current market is? The sharpest decline occurred in January, during which both the exports were pretty good and cold weather was ravaging the US. How did it happen? Partly, some convenient fires in the export facilities. However, even despite those, the price did manage to bounce back once. Second reason was a massive amount of institutional shorts. Sure, the futures market is forward-looking, but for the decline to begin during the cyclone bomb and when the exports are still nice, seems pretty suspicious to me. This kind of price movement could also be ascribed to increased imports into the US. That may have been true in February or March, but not in January when imports only sat at $1,161 million. In fact, since April the numbers have been rapidly declining. By June imports fell to a measly 680 million. So, what else could be the cause? Seasonality? Well, the decline during the spring isn't all that too uncommon, but by summer, especially by a hot one, there should be a recovery, but the price is still at pre-inflationary, pre-European demand surge levels. Yeah, blatant manipulation. Yet in the end, this all shall pass. If governments could reliably control the prices, there would be no such thing as hyperinflation. Domestically, rig counts are falling and quite a few companies are going bust, which will mean a smaller supply. However, the greatest of changes are likely to come from outside the US. More and more countries are expressing interest in joining BRICS, an organization which is challenging the West's stranglehold over the markets. And it just so happens to be that a lot of those countries are major commodity producers. Now let's say BRICS creates its own exchanges. Poof! The West completely loses its ability to mess with the markets. Ultimately, I don't really know when all of this transpires, but considering just how pitifully low the price is right now, even if the manipulation continues to linger on, there still should be pretty good profits by winter. I am like 90% sure. Not a 100, though, 'cause all kinds of stuff can happen. Not me, not you, not even Buffett himself, can absolutely reliably predict the future. And if I could, I would be chilling atop of mountains of gold-crusted tendies in the Bahamas. Buffett would still probably be Buffett though. Oh, great Widowmaker! We pledge our souls to you. Make the green rain.
Enough. To the horny jail you go.